Mark, this used to be my life every day. many years ago.
Just make Phil put the cars in the dyno. Put them back on the dyno.
Pull the plugs.
I used to let you do spark plugs?
Yep.
That's scary.
And I only ever broke one.
That's good. We got to set the preload on the wastegate right now. On this EFR Turbo, the actuator for the wastegate needs to have a certain amount of adjustment on it. Right now it needs more, so we need to add another 3 or 4 mil preload to get the spool correct. So we're going to go adjust that, and we just sync the ignition timing to make sure the number 1 coil is firing with the EMS at the same point. So we've done that, and then after that we should be ready to tune. So yeah, we'll just do, so we need 2 10s. I think it's good. Oh, the coil. This is a twin scroll version.
Yeah.
Twin scroll, okay.
All right.
And then you want to rev it to what, like 72 max?
74, yeah, it'd be fine
max.
with that.
Okay.
And, yeah, do the 2-step oil pressure control, and
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. Let me get the fan and then we'll. Where's the exhaust end? Is it open downpipe? Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, we're good. It's there. So a customer wanted, he wanted some fail-safe protection with this. With the Series 2 EMS. So we did, the last time it was here, we set up an overheating protection and a lean protection in case the air fuel leaned out too much in boost. It would actually initiate a cut to protect the engine. He went a step further and he added an oil pressure sensor so that now I'm able to define a particular oil pressure based on RPM, and if it steps below that, it'll cut the engine to save it so it doesn't drop oil pressure. This particular car is a drift car, so it does a lot of high-speed cornering, a lot of G-force where the oil can slosh away from the pickup and starve the engine for oil. So one of the things we'll be doing today is building a oil pressure fail-safe map during the tuning session to enable that feature. Also, we're going to be, with the new turbo that he installed, I have to remap all the boost control. The car previously had a 35R and now has a EFR7670 with the .92 AR twin scroll housing with an internal gate. He's looking for more response. I guess the 35R was a little bit laggy for drifting. The power wasn't there between shifts, so this turbo should be substantially faster spool. And we'll see how it goes, but these turbos usually deliver pretty well. power are you looking for?
What do you think you can get out of it?
You made 450 right there. Like,
Really?
it went up to, well, we're gonna have to play with the preload.
Yeah.
It's a situation we'll probably have to back it off like 2 mil preload.
Yeah.
And then, because it overshoots and comes back, so it's a little bit too much.
Right.
I mean, I can probably get it up to about 15, 16 pounds. I would think it's gonna make, 480 maybe. But the torque is, I mean, you're making like almost 100 foot-pounds of torque more.
Last year.
Yeah, and the spool like,
Yes.
yeah, and it spools like 800 RPMs quicker. But the mid-range torque is like, just at say 4,000.
Yeah.
You're looking at 120 foot-pounds increase in torque.
Oh my God. Wow, that's cool. The valves, I guess, too, are big with torque. Helping with that.
Yeah, honestly, it's the turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the valves are probably very minimal.
Yeah.
But the turbo they're just so responsive. And even though like it shows that on the graph, whatever, when you actually drive the car,
Yeah.
it'll feel like you gain more displacement. Like, it's just the only way to describe it.
That's what I wanted, just more responsive.
Yeah.
Torque. So, yeah, that's fine. If,
I would back the preload off like 2 mil,
okay.
and then I'll just keep readjusting like the basically the actual AEM boost. But it looks like right now it went up to like 15 pounds, and then it dropped to about 12 and a half, 13.
Okay.
And that was with about 70% duty cycle on the boost solenoid. So realistically, it's going to do what it's going to do.
Right.
We're going to probably max that solenoid out quickly. Yeah, usually on these, I end up putting the Turbo Smart actuators, because you can change the spring, and it seems like they hold boost a little bit better. Or I just use the heavy one.
Yeah.
Because off the actuator, just with nothing, it only goes up to 9 and drops to like 7.
Wow.
So.
All right, well, that'd be good. I mean, that's plenty. So as long as it's happy and...
Yeah, I mean, everything looks safe. The oil pressure is dialed in right now. I have a pretty conservative curve on it, as far as like how tight it is. Like,
Yeah.
I'm giving it about 10 psi to 15 psi of lenience,
Right.
but because of how quickly, like, I can't filter the input to the sensor. I can't filter that. There's no filter channel like the map sensors and the throttle sensors. You can actually put a filter on it to dampen out like the oscillations and the voltage. I can't on that, so I have to give it a little bit of a leeway so it doesn't just prematurely trip that failsafe. So I gave it a 500 millisecond window, like a half second, so that whatever RPM you're at, it's going to look at the value, and then it's going to be able to, based on what it's seeing, it'll have 500 milliseconds to react to that, which should be enough. It should be okay, especially with the cornering and stuff. So. Still gets like a step in it.
That's a big step.
Yeah, it is. You went off 2, right?
Went off 2, so
Yeah.
I'll add 3.
3. Let's just see what happens, because you might be able to get it out that way too.
Can we try that?
Yeah, let's try that. So we're still getting some overshoot on the boost, which is giving like a torque spike, and then it's settling down right where it spools up. I'm trying to determine if that's a mechanical thing or if it's a control problem with the AEM controlling the boost solenoid. So we're going to try it mechanically first, and then see if we can get rid of that big dip. Unfortunately, this is going to be trial and error. Figure it out, but variable valve timing on it.
Yep.
What?
I remember you turned it on last year and you got a lot more.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember with
It
it.
should still be on.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think like where it's at, because we might be able to.
What was it? It was like you turned it on at like 5,000 or something because of the cams.
Yeah. fine balance of making it spool fast
Yeah.
and making it like hypersensitive.
Yep.
I think
You cleaned it up nice. Though.
it's better. I think I can get a little bit better. I'm just manipulating like the duty cycle on the solenoid to try to get rid of that ripple.
Yeah.
This is what I've usually seen on the Hondas with these,
Right.
and the stiff actuator gets rid of it. So, yeah.
I should have talked to you before I.
Yeah, I would have told you to do the stiff one. Because every one of these I've ever put on a bigger motor that's efficient, that's somewhat efficient, they always work better with the high. Especially your car, like you're not staging the boost.
Right.
So,
No, that's what next year's for.
I mean, this is still going to be a substantial improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, over what you had. I mean, that's like
I mean, I'm starting to spool at.
like compared to before. That is your old one right there. So even just right there,
Right.
you know, you're still way faster spool.
Yeah. The torque, that's nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
You got like 100
Yeah.
100 foot-pound, 120 foot-pound of gain at $4 grand.
Yeah.
So, plus this thing spools so much quicker on the transient. What you can't see on the dyno,
Right.
like how it drives, how it comes into boost.
Yeah.
You can't. This is like only a steady state measurement technically. So like, that sweep, like the on-off throttle stuff.
Yeah.
And these turbos are insane for response.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
There's nothing like
this
it.
thing would fog. I would have to clutch kick the shit out of it.
To get it to go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was awful. And
Yeah.
even when I clutch kick it, sometimes it would fall on its face.
Right.
So-
Now this will be a completely different car with this on there.
Yeah.
So, I'll make another pull or two. I just want to get that little rippling out.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
It's just
damn good to me.
it's just like it's hypersensitive in boost, run the spool up,
Yeah.
and then it's because it goes up to like 16, it drops like 13. But it is what it is. I mean,
Yep.
that's just what these turbos do with the internal wastegate.
Right.
So,
I'm happy.
yeah,
And then after that, you want to try that
we can do it.
switch?
We'll do a two-step.
Yeah.
The tack output is what it is. It's not programmable. I thought I could fix it.
Yeah.
I think I probably tried it last time,
Yeah.
and it just the
I
oil.
think it's better. It looked like it was going up pretty high. I almost saw like 6,000 RPMs when you're doing some pulls. So.
Okay. What was the other thing? Oh, the idle's really high. It keeps sticking. Did you adjust the throttle body or the cable? Feels like the
Yeah.
cable's binding because I keep pulling it back with my foot.
Really?
Yeah. Like, wait, I don't know.
I was messing the cable. The throttle body's on completely different now. It's turned, so I
Okay.
had to remake the cable.
Yeah, cable's like binding or hanging or something.
At
'cause
the end?
No, just even in general, if I part throttle and lift, it'll just hang at like $3 grand or $4 grand. Yeah.
All right, let me look at it.
Okay. It's almost done. It looks like I was between playing with the mechanical adjustment on the actuator and then tuning the actual boost solenoid through the AEM software. There was a bit of boost rippling that we were getting, so the boost was going up, to 18, coming down to 13, coming up to 15. So there was that part of that was mechanical, but now I was with the tuning on the software, I'm able to dampen that out so the boost is a little bit more flat. You can see there's a bit less bumps in the torque band on the dyno graph. So it's almost done. Another pull, it should be good. And it looks like from this previous turbo, we're going to pick up about 120 torque and about 800 to 1,000 RPMs faster spool. And the car's a drift car, so it has to have response between shifts when getting around the track to get sideways, and also has to have a lot of throttle response, which the previous turbo, it made similar peak power, but we were down, way down on torque, and the turbo was not as responsive. So this should suit what he's doing much better than the 35R, the GT35R that was on there. So it should be much better for him coming out of corners and being able to get the car sideways.
Not showing up.
It's not coming in on one. Are you sure it was one?
Yeah.
Because I'm watching status on switch one right now,
Yeah.
and it doesn't switch on off. So it's not.
Well, it should be with the clutch down. So that now, is it going? Should be clutch down. So that the button needs to be on. So it should say there. Okay, that allows the PLC to see clutch in.
Yeah, it's not giving me. Is it
Should be switched to ground.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do switch to power. No, still same thing. There's no status, it's just on. Yeah, that's not giving me any.
Let me grab I'll grab my notes. I know what pin I did it to.
Okay, yeah, if you know the pin, then we can look it up. Trying to do launch control quick, and we're doing it through the clutch switch on this particular car because we don't have a speed sensor input. So we wired it into a pin which we think was switch number 1 coming into the AEM, but it's not working as we're testing it, testing the logic status. It's not going from off to on when you clutch in, so we're going to troubleshoot the pin and figure out what's going on here. Okay. What I can do is I can just program it and then turn it off.
Yep.
And then all you'll have to do is designate, say basically turn it on, then just test the logic. It's pretty easy.
Yep.
And then that way it's still whatever, we can set it.
Yeah,
right
I mean
now.
I'll email you once I get it all squared away to make sure everything's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, so if you can just set it up so that
Okay.
it's easy for that.
Look.
Me to turn it on.
This thing's itching me, man.
I was just watching you do that.
This mic's itching me. It's like digging in my skin.
That last one was perfect.
Yeah, I'm leaving it. Yeah. So we just got done finished tuning this 240 with a RB25 engine. It has built bottom end. It's actually punched out to a 2.6. It has upgraded cams. Has a full race exhaust manifold, twin scroll with the EFR7670 internally wastegated, and like 750cc injectors, upgraded pump and lines and all that. Previously it had a 35R on it, and we were putting down, it looks like around 440, 450 wheel with only right around 300 torque. Now we're doing 460 wheel, but the torque is 380 foot-pounds, so we picked up anywhere from 100 foot-pounds. Spool looks like it's about 800 to 1,000 RPM sooner. The car is a drift car, so it's going to need the response between pedaling on and off throttle and the torque to get the car sideways coming out of a corner. So this power band and the way this turbo is working right now should be much better suited than the 35R that was previously on there. So it should be a lot more fun to drive. So overall, it's we're limited in boost by the actuator, the wastegate actuator that's on this turbo. It's a medium actuator from BorgWarner. To get more boost out of it or more power, we need a stiffer actuator, either Turbo Smart or the high or the highest rated one from the EFR line, which there's a low, medium, and high to be able to get more boost. But for right now, for what the purpose of this car is on pump gas, this should last for drifting, should hold up and be reliable. So that's a little bit more important than making all-out power. This definitely could make with better fuel, 600. This turbo's rated for right around 550, 600, so I'd be pushing it to the limit. So we'll see down the road if he does ethanol and comes back for retuned. We should see that much power. So.